guys, it's KaguraFireCosplay here for part 1 of March. I do have quite a bit of March. All of the reading I didn't do in February due to the con, I had to catch up on inevitably. So that's here we are here now. So the first book I read, I started in February, but read most of it in March, which is why it's in March. Then it's the Photographer's Guide to Posing, Techniques to Flower Everyone by Lindsay Adler from February 20th to 2023 to March 5th, 2023. So I originally had this from the library, but do have a physical copy of it now. But it's just an entire guide on posing and taking pictures of subjects and stuff. Other types of photography, which I'm really grateful that my mom initially got this for future taking pictures of me for cosplay. So I'm really grateful that she would put in the effort for that. But yeah, I mean, the author has shot for many large companies, so she's very well educated on the subject, knows what needs to be done, and how to pose genuinely that's not candid. There's a huge misconception that to have genuine shots it has to be candid and not properly set up, which isn't true at all. It also gets into like the ability of the lens. I didn't realize like how much lenses can really change a piece of photography. That's insane. And there are some things where I have to take it with a grain of salt because I'm not taking pictures for high fashion. I'm taking it for cosplay. So there's some things that you're not supposed to do because it's unflattering or it gives you like a different feel. But with cosplay, sometimes you do want to be unflattering, sometimes you want to be a little bit creepy and weird, so it's just kind of interesting and try to figure out the balance of that. And also, probably one of the main things I learned is where does your eye initially go. So whenever you want any type of shot, it needs to be whatever your subject is, whether it's for cosplay, whether it's you or a prop. So that's the two things that you want to be. And there's a lot of difference in artistic eyes too. There are things that she had here that she liked, I didn't particularly like, which just goes to show that everyone has different artistic tastes. And then there's also quite a bit of difference between men and women, which is also part of cosplay, is that kind of blur that line too with the types of characters that you do as well. And balancing portions between the two, which also goes along with what is your eye drawn to. That's important as well. And then how it depicts types of relationships with shooting with multiple people as well, whether it's romantic, family, friends, whatever. It can say a lot too. So I don't know, it's very educational, very interesting. If you ever want to shoot people or are a model, definitely a good read. And the next book I read was Rumpelstiltskin by Jenni James from February 28th to March 2nd, which is following the fairy tale series that I've been talking about. And then so it's just a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin in its own unique little way. So this girl's father kind of goes insane and he's like, but hey, my daughter can turn, what is it? Hey, right. So he says, like, my daughter can turn hay into gold, so how about you just marry my daughter, well, to the prince and let me go free of my crappiness. So that's what he does, and obviously she can't freaking do that. So Rumpelstiltskin, who is the older prince of the brother who was cursed to be, have the skin condition he does, but he hides under the castle and has these fancy rocks that conduce him good old magic-y type things. So he ends up helping her out. Like, she's absolutely screwed over by her parents. He's screwed over by his parents too, because they just like completely ignore him after he gets cursed. And is told that he's like dead too. So that's a pretty crappy situation. But relationships do develop fast in this book too. I will say I definitely like this one a lot more than the other two that we've talked about before. There is a very positive outlook on like appearances don't matter as much as personality and how you treat people. And yeah, I mean, she truly loves him for him despite any type of physical appearance. So it's cute. I mean, it's just cute. It's sweet. Definitely would recommend. And then I have a bunch of the Ever After High short stories. So the first one is Apple Lights, which are on March 4th. And so you get into, Jane and Hale. So you get into Apple's responsibility contradicting her personality to what she's required to do, which we don't really see, especially in the show. We see her being a lot more like complacent to it, and, like this is what it is, but this is right before the show starts where you get to see kind of where her mind's at. And then she's also not necessarily meeting her parents' expectations, which is rough, it sucks. And then there's a lot of setup of her going to kind of go away from her story, which gets into the foreshadowing for the show. But yeah, I mean, it's cute, it's short, it's like one chapter. And then March 5th, I read Raven Queen's story, still by Shannon and Hale. And then you see a big difference between her father figure versus her mother, who's obviously the queen. And clearly she takes a lot more after her father. Then there's pressure from pretty much everyone for her to go be a terrible person, including like even servants and stuff like that. It's just crazy. And then she just gets into like the hypocrisy of the whole system. I mean, the idea that maybe like her father being good should override her mother's story. Like, why does she have to go with her mother's story? But yeah, I don't know. It gets into that whole debacle, just not fun. Then next are Briar Beauties during March 5th. And then you see her need to submit herself in others' minds so they don't forget her, because obviously she'll fall asleep and yeah. So she's just trying constantly to prove that she's here, she exists, and hopefully people won't forget about her. And then she also gets into a situation where like all these people want them to follow their stories and are celebrating the idea of them. But to her, it's really quite a tragedy. So seeing people celebrating her doom is really hard for her. And then you also just see her being pretty brave in this whole scenario. And I don't know, it's nice. It's nice to see that from her. And then March 6th, I read Cinderella by Jenni James following that other series. This one is also a lot better than the first two, but and so this is another situation where they did know each other before the story starts. So the prince and main girl do kind of know each other, but you see her immediately call out. But okay, so she doesn't know that he's the prince though. They know each other as childhood friends who competed in horse races together, and you see her immediately recognize it's him, and he kind of gets to regain a little bit of his old fake persona that he had as a kid. And you have rivals, friends, and lovers of this too, because they're definitely got that going on, which is fun. And then you see his dynamic with his mom quite a bit too, which is kind of interesting, and how his mom kind of always moves up and supporting him. This story has probably the best pacing of the books I've read so far. reread so far of her books. And then, yeah, it's just really cute. So, Cinderella, friends, not knowing the other one's friends too. Lovers, it's fun. And then I read the same series. I read Hansel and Gretel, still by Jenni James, during March 6th. It's important to say that they are not related. Let's get that out there. You definitely see Hansel got some problems. Let's just say that. But yeah, and there's probably like the most heavy flirting out of any of these books I've read too between them. It's just like, okay. And then but you have a lot of pre-existing feelings and tensions coming into it, which is the reason why. This is the shortest one that I've reread so far. It's very quick, very short. There's also a little bit of sexism in it, which is not fun, but it is what it is. Then Jack and the Beanstalk by Jenni James, same series, from March 7th to March 10th. So this one is actually following along with Hansel and Gretel because it's Jack is their child, so it's kind of interesting tie-in. But this one is definitely my least favorite of the series that I've reread so far. Because pretty much everyone in this book is incompetent besides Jack. Like, someone just goes missing and they're just like, oh well, sorry about your loss, I guess, but have fun with that. And or no, it's it. They're talking. Oh, whatever. I'm confused. But you do have the same recurring villain from the Hansel and Gretel too, which is kind of interesting. I mean, there's also the giant, but different. You do get a proper sibling relationship in this too. That's not at all questionable. Jack absolutely is a bit of a simp for this girl, but he's also the only one doing anything, so have that at it. And then they also have a pre-established relationship. If I'm remembering correctly, like they are engaged at the start of the book, which is also why he's kind of like, it's like, wait, so you guys aren't doing anything? Okay. And Hansel and Gretel kind of have cute maternal moments in this book too, which is kind of nice. It's kind of fun. It's different. Then I read Ever After High, Madeline Higher Story by Shannon and Hale, which is another one of the short ones. But this one's the most laid back compared to the rest, I think, simply because Maddie's already so much just who she is and follows along the story pretty well. And I think that's the benefit of the Mad Hatter too, is that you don't have to follow a set story like the rest. She can kind of just do whatever she wants, and it works out for her, right? And then you do get to see her be pretty lonely though, because this is before she's met like friends and stuff at school. She really just doesn't have anyone with her, and it's pretty sad. But she does spend everything to be a positive though, so it's just who she is. But it's nice too. It's nice to see. I'm doing good on time. Okay. And then, oh, I meant to put this over here. The next book I read is the Heartstopper Yearbook by Oseman during March 9th. So this is just insight onto all the characters, the little character sheets, and have some shorts, and just some fun, some Q&A type things, explaining some of the plot details and whatnot. We do get insight on how she wrote all the characters, which is fun, why they are the way that they are. You have the evolution of the design and art style from her initial sketches to what is now. You have how Nick gets Nellie, a little short story on that. That's cute. There's a quiz in here on, I don't know if you're more like Nick or Charlie, or if it's just like which character you are, but I did get Nick, which is not a surprise if you know me. You do get a short comic about the teacher relationship that's in here, which is cute. There's some like fun I mean, it's not fan art because it's Alice Oseman, but kind of that realm of art. You do have like a gothic Tara on page 96 that apparently I thought was worth mentioning. And you did have Tara and Darcy's kind of origin story in Sherlock comic 2, which is fun to see as well. But yeah, it's cute. It's just cute. It's fun. And then you have Beyond the Wand, The Magic and Mayhem of Growing Up as a Wizard by Tom Felton, which is his biography I read March 9th to March 10th. So I was super excited to read this book. It just follows his life from before Harry Potter to where he is now. We very much do get the point of, despite him being a villainous character, he is as far as a villain as he can humanly be. It's not like his character at all. You do get some of his relationships with his brothers and how they've supported him over the years, which is cute to see. You get to see his parents' divorce, so if you've gone through that, then it definitely can help you through that. He also mentions how he was not born an actor. This was not what he intended to start doing until it kind of landed in his place, and just like, go for it, and thankfully he did. So, but he also talked about the crazy hairs that he has done over the years, whether it'll be like weird wigs or having to bleach his hair for however many years Harry Potter shot. But definitely has some crazy hair in various works that he's done. There's also the Harry Potter audition, in which is also the back part of the cover. But that's something. I mean, there's a lot of insight as to why he was casted over other people in his first interactions with some of the cast. So yeah, but he was not aware of what Harry Potter really was, besides being a popular book series. He didn't know anything about it, so it kind of just thrown into that situation as well. Also talks about being starstruck, especially since Harry Potter has so many of the legendary British actors, and kind of getting into that as a young child definitely had its impact as well. There's also a lot of talk about the restrictions put on as an actor, especially for the children, like what you can and can't do because you can't be injured for set, because how would you shoot a scene where you're perfectly fine and then injured the next day when you're shooting off and on. You also have his bond with the other Slytherin castmates as well, since they spent the most time with each other. They become pretty close. It was interesting to see that. Then also learning how to act in character in meet and greets. So he had the awkward situation of originally just being him whenever he did meet and greets, while other people were their characters. Of course, it's hard to try and be villainous in that type of situation, but eventually he learned from the others of how Sword did that himself. But yeah. And also stunts, the type of stunts that he had to do, kind of interesting. I mean, you get his friendships with pretty much any of the cast that you would be curious about. So whether it be Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, all those people. I mean, there's talk about all of them. It also goes into Draco's character development of how he played that, and the specific thing that I think is most noteworthy of him that he does, at least in my opinion, is my favorite Draco scene, and how filming that was. And also talked about the Dumbledores and the two different versions of that, but also kind of Michael Gambon's influence on him. You get that, which is really interesting. You do have some like funny moments too that are behind the scenes of Harry Potter, specifically. Snape's cloak apparently had some issues and problems, but yeah, I mean, it's great. It also talks about the effect that other people have had on his life and have to that as well. You have again just talk so many people that he's worked with, and then you kind of get into the post-Harry Potter section with the price of fame, the price of just being in that as a young child and going through so much, going through rehab, going through just a lot of struggles, and I don't know, I mean, you just come out with so much respect for him. Like, you have just like your normal behind the scenes, here's all the Harry Potter stuff, here's the other actors, here's all that, and then you have just him getting out of it and him going through a lot, and I don't know, it's hard not to be in awe of him. So yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna end it for this video, but I'll see you guys in part 2 of March. So until then, bye.